Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to break down the sheer, unbelievable chaos of an unforgettable World Cup matchup, Germany versus Cote d'Ivoire. We're taking that frantic, breathless live commentary straight from the broadcast and translating it into a classic David versus Goliath story. Because, if you've ever wondered what actually happens on the pitch when an absolute, unstoppable force meets a highly capable underdog, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to look at the tactics, the psychology, and the raw emotion of a game that pushed a global footballing giant right to the absolute brink.
Okay, let's dive right into it with the exact words from the broadcast. The commentators frame this right from the start as the footballing heavyweight against a very capable underdog. And honestly, that instantly sets the stakes for this entire clash, doesn't it? It tells you everything you need to know about the atmosphere the second they walked into the stadium. In tournament football, narratives like this dictate literally everything, from the opening formations to the tension in the crowd. A heavyweight isn't just expected to win, they're expected to completely dominate, to put on a clinic. But when you're up against a very capable underdog, man, that expectation becomes a massive heavy burden. All the pressure is sitting squarely on one side of the pitch, while the other side gets to play with absolute freedom.
Section 1, Heavyweight versus Capable Underdog.
So to truly wrap our heads around this matchup, we have to look at what these two profiles actually look like when the whistle blows. On one side, you have the heavyweight. They're entering with expected dominance, right? A side of great stature. In football terms, that means expecting something crazy, like 70% possession. It means dictating the tempo, totally suffocating the opponent, and assuming total control of the midfield. But then on the other side, you've got the capable underdog. And here's the thing. They don't need possession. They are a disruptive threat, just lurking in the tactical weeds, completely capable of changing the entire picture with one lethal counterattack. It's the core tension of the beautiful game, a dominant force structurally programmed to control the match, facing an opponent actively trying to turn the game upside down in the blink of an eye.
Moving on to Section 2, the underdog strikes first.
The opening sequences of this game unfolded at absolute breakneck speed, and we can actually map this directly from the raw commentary. It starts with Joshua Kimmich floating this testing ball over Fofana. It's exactly the kind of probing pass a heavyweight uses just to test the waters. But moments later, total chaos. A messy foul gets called against the goalkeeper, and suddenly the defense is scrambling. They are totally out of position, and right amidst that sudden disruption, Diamond sees an opening and plays a lovely, piercing ball. And then the flashpoint. Franck Kessie is right there to bury it. Boom. The stadium absolutely erupts. The underdog hasn't just survived the opening minutes, they've actually drawn first blood.
The raw, emotional reaction from the booth really captures it perfectly. The automated transcript actually spat out, "The groupie picture changes with one touch of the ball." Now, obviously, that's a slightly garbled, kind of hilarious piece of automated audio, but honestly, it perfectly represents the utter confusion on the pitch right after Kessie scores. The entire tactical picture, literally everything the heavyweight had planned for the last week, just fundamentally shifted. That single touch upended their early expectations and completely hijacked the momentum of the match. It's that exact moment the giant realizes, oh, wait, we aren't in a training exercise, we're in a street fight.
And the commentary gets incredibly breathless right here. You can literally feel the panic setting in. The referee lets the game continue amidst these incredibly loud protests and lingering questions about a foul. In all this frenzy, players like Hamzi and Leroy Sane are just buzzing around the box, nearly scoring, pushing the tempo to the absolute brink. They are trying to force an immediate equalizer through sheer willpower. But what happens when a heavyweight panics and pushes too many guys forward? Yep, they leave massive gaps. Because of that frantic push, Diallo suddenly finds acres of wide open room to operate on the counter. You can really see how that single underdog duel completely cracked open the tactical shell of the game, turning what was supposed to be a methodical chess match into a wild, chaotic shootout.
Section 3, the heavyweight's swift response. So what exactly do you do when you're a massive footballing entity and you get unexpectedly punched in the mouth? Well, you stop relying entirely on the system and you start relying on moments of sheer, undeniable individual brilliance. The raw transcript captures the live call "Lovely Feet Wirtz dancing through." This is Florian Wirtz, spelled phonetically by the automated transcript as Wirtz, using his dazzling world-class footwork to slice right through the underdog's defense. And look, this is precisely why these teams are heavyweights. When their tactical plans get completely disrupted, they have superstars who can simply take the ball, dance through 3 defenders, and reestablish control through pure technical muscle.
Let's actually break down exactly how the underdog's armor finally unraveled to give up that equalizer, because it happens in 4 rapid-fire, ruthless steps. Step 1, Diallo. Maybe a little fatigued from the frantic pace, gives up just a fraction of room. Step 2, that tiny fraction of a second is literally all Joshua Kimmich needs to send a lethal, pinpoint ball into the box. Step 3, Fofana rushes out to intercept but completely whiffs on the ball. It's a devastating miscalculation under immense pressure. And finally, Step 4, Kai Havertz is waiting right there, perfectly positioned to finish the job. Clinical, ruthless, and just like that, we are all tied up. It is an absolute masterclass in exploiting the tiniest of mistakes.
This equalizer highlights a pretty crucial reality, which the commentators nailed perfectly in the moment. There's the response that you'd expect from a side of this stature. Just think about your favorite dominant sports team, football, basketball, whatever it is. When they go down early, they don't fold, they don't panic, they execute. The commentators immediately recognized this wasn't just a lucky break or a fortunate bounce. No, it was the inevitable awakening of a sleeping giant. A team of this stature absorbs the blow, recalibrates, and then strikes back with terrifying efficiency.
Section 4. The decisive substitution.
With the game completely deadlocked and legs getting incredibly heavy, we enter the critical phase of the match where strategic bench management becomes the ultimate deciding factor. The transcript zeroes right in on this highly specific narrative thread, a player coming off the bench to make his mark. As players like Amiri help set the stage, the tension in the stadium becomes totally palpable. And this, right here, is the ultimate difference between heavyweights and underdogs. A titan can reach into its deep reserves, bringing on world-class, fresh legs against an utterly exhausted underdog defense. They can completely change their attacking dynamic in the 70th minute to force a dramatic climax. Because ultimately, a game of this magnitude, packed with all this emotional weight, the tactical adjustments, the frantic back-and-forth action, it all comes down to a razor-thin margin. Just the number one single goal.
And that razor-thin margin? It was provided by a crucial late change. Listen to this final broadcast call.
Substitute Dennis Undav, who makes the difference. Dennis Undav, again captured phonetically by our transcript here, comes on to deal the final decisive blow for Germany. He just finds that pocket of space that tired defenders simply couldn't close down fast enough. It's the ultimate testament to a giant leaning heavily on its bench to survive. When your starting 11 gets stalled, being able to sub on a game winner is the luxury that actually wins tournaments.
Section 5, Final Score and Takeaways. If we strip away all that live, breathless chaos, it gives us the core reality of the match. Germany secures the 2 on the scoreboard, surviving that massive early shock purely by relying on their superior bench depth and composure. They bent, for sure, but they did not break. On the other hand, Cote d'Ivoire finishes with a 1, but honestly, their takeaway is absolutely massive. They didn't just show up to participate. They proved highly capable and dictated the early momentum of a game against a global superpower. They exposed vulnerabilities and absolutely lived up to the label of a dangerous, disruptive threat that absolutely nobody is going to want to face in the knockout rounds. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on as this tournament progresses. When a heavyweight relies on a late substitute merely to survive a highly capable underdog, who really owns the momentum going forward? Like, does Germany walk away from this feeling invincible? Or do they walk away feeling deeply, deeply relieved? Because surviving a scare isn't exactly the same thing as displaying pure dominance, is it? Keep an eye on both of these teams, remember how small the margins truly are at this elite level, and we'll see you next time on The Explainer.